Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly command attention, respect, and influence, almost as if the world bends subtly to their will? Imagine walking into a room where the tension is thick, where every eye is judging, every word seems measured, and yet with just 6 words, you could change the entire dynamic. It sounds impossible, almost like a magic trick. But that is the power of mastering not just words, but yourself. The first secret you must understand is that words alone never conquer anyone. It's the presence behind them, the weight of a calm, disciplined mind that moves people. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Those 6 words we are going to explore only work when you have first mastered the invisible forces that govern your interactions. Self-control, emotional clarity, and the ability to act with purpose. Let me paint a picture. You are in a heated argument, voices rising, hearts pounding, and yet you remain unshaken. Every word you speak is deliberate. You listen more than you talk. You understand the other person's motives without losing your own ground. That is quiet power, the Stoic way. Epictetus would say, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." These 6 words are the tip of an iceberg. The unseen mastery underneath is what makes them resonate. Imagine now the boardroom scenario. Your team is divided, the project is failing, and frustration is palpable. One calm voice, speaking just 6 words with intent, shifts the energy in the room. Eyes soften, tension releases, and suddenly, collaboration becomes possible. How can 6 words carry that weight? It's not the words themselves, it's the credibility behind them. And here's the twist. The average person cannot wield this power because they have never cultivated these inner skills that Stoics have practiced for centuries. Morning reflection, premeditatio malorum, voluntary discomfort, and mindful self-examination. Seneca often reminded us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Without mastering your internal world, these 6 words will be empty, hollow, a spell without the wizard. That's why, in this video, we will not only reveal the phrase, but explore the 3 invisible skills that make it irresistible. First, quiet presence. Learning to anchor yourself so your energy is steady and confident. Second, calibrated vulnerability. The courage to show truth without losing composure. And third, disciplined acceptance. Acting ruthlessly on what is within your control, while letting go of what is not. And here's a secret loop you must stay with me to uncover. Embedded within these 6 words is a subtle principle of human psychology that even leaders and negotiators overlook. This principle, when applied consistently, rewires the way people perceive and respond to you. I'm going to walk you through the process using 3 vivid stories from real life. A business negotiation that could have gone disastrously wrong, a personal conflict that tested every ounce of patience, and a small daily ritual that over time transforms ordinary interactions into moments of quiet influence. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you will not just know the 6 words. You will have a roadmap to embodying them, turning every conversation, every interaction into a platform for mastery. And just so you know, the most surprising part is how ridiculously simple these words are. Simple, yet powerful. Mundane, yet transformative. That's the Stoic paradox at work, and once you see it, your entire approach to influence will shift forever. Stay tuned, because the moment we reveal the 6 words, you will also learn 8 actionable drills to IAS. Integrate them into your life. Drills that will make you unshakable in any conversation, negotiation, or conflict, no matter how high the stakes. Now let's dig deeper into the first invisible skill that will make those 6 words resonate with power: quiet presence. Imagine standing in a crowded room where tension vibrates in the air like a live wire. Most people react impulsively, their words sharp but hollow, their intentions betrayed by anxiety. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself each morning, "Begin each day by telling yourself, 'Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. And yet, I will remain undisturbed.'" That is the essence of quiet presence. It is the deliberate cultivation of a calm, steady mind, a stillness that allows your words, those 6 crucial words, to land with gravity. Picture this in a modern context. A high-stakes meeting where your team is on the verge of collapse. Voices rise, panic simmers, and yet you step forward, calm and grounded. You do not need to dominate the conversation. Your presence alone shifts the energy. People unconsciously match your tempo, your steadiness, your confidence. That's the hidden power Stoics relied upon. Influence that precedes speech. But here's the subtlety many miss. Quiet presence isn't just silence. It's intentional awareness, combined with disciplined restraint. Epictetus taught that it is not the events themselves, but our judgments about them, that disturb us. In practice, this means noticing irritation, fear, or impatience in the moment, and choosing to respond instead of react. You anchor yourself internally before you project externally. Here's where the open loop comes in. Mastering this skill primes your audience for your 6 words. Without presence, the words fall flat, like fireworks in daylight, brilliant in theory, but invisible in practice. To build this skill, start with small daily exercises. Pause before responding in conversations. Observe your heartbeat. And when conflict arises, and take a single controlled breath before speaking. Practice speaking with measured pace, not haste. You are training the invisible muscles of authority and calm. Think of it as preparing the soil before planting a seed. The 6 words are the seed, but your presence ensures they grow. And here's a story to illustrate. A friend of mine faced a tense negotiation with a client who was aggressive and dismissive. Most people would have responded with defensiveness or pleading. Instead, my friend took a deliberate pause, rooted in quiet presence, and spoke calmly. The client's hostility softened, and the conversation shifted from confrontation to collaboration. This is not luck. It is applied Stoicism. The open loop here is that mastering quiet presence also sets up the second skill, calibrated vulnerability. Once you are grounded, your honesty and courage in communication hit harder because they are delivered without fear. And it is this combination, presence plus vulnerability, that makes the 6 words truly conquer any situation. Stay with me, because the next section will reveal exactly how vulnerability, when disciplined and intentional, becomes the silent force that commands attention, trust, and influence in ways most people never realize. By the end, you will not only understand the 6 words, but also know how to embody them so deeply that they change your relationships, negotiations, and daily interactions forever. Now that you understand the quiet, commanding power of presence, let's explore the second invisible skill, calibrated vulnerability. At first glance, the idea of vulnerability might seem contradictory to influence. You might think, if I show weakness, won't people take advantage of me? But Stoicism teaches us a subtle paradox. True strength is rooted in honest self-expression paired with discipline. Seneca often emphasized that the courageous man is not the one without fear, but the one who acts rightly despite fear. Vulnerability, when calibrated, is the art of showing just enough truth to be relatable, authentic, and persuasive, without surrendering your core authority. Imagine this. You are in a difficult conversation with a partner, colleague, or even a friend, and emotions run high. Most people respond by defending, shutting down, or over-explaining. You, however, lean into the discomfort just enough to reveal your perspective honestly, calmly acknowledging your feelings while maintaining composure. This subtle honesty disarms resistance. Epictetus would say, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Vulnerability is in your power. Overreacting, defensiveness and dishonesty are not. Let's paint a real-world scenario. A young entrepreneur faces criticism from investors, each comment feeling like an attack. Instead of lashing out or becoming defensive, she pauses, acknowledges the concern, and calmly expresses her vision and limitations. Her authenticity shifts perception. Suddenly, the criticism turns into constructive dialogue, respect grows, and influence is earned. That's calibrated vulnerability in action. And here's the key. This skill directly amplifies the impact of the 6 words we promised. Why? Because people instinctively trust those who are real but composed. Authority without humanity feels cold. Humanity without authority feels weak. The intersection of both presence and vulnerability creates irresistible influence. But here's the twist, the open loop that keeps you hooked. Calibrated vulnerability cannot exist without disciplined boundaries. It's not about oversharing, emotional dumping, or seeking validation. It's about strategic honesty, revealing enough to connect, withholding enough to remain untouchable. And the third invisible skill, which we will explore next, is what allows you to maintain that balance even under extreme pressure. Disciplined acceptance. Think about it. Even with presence and vulnerability, chaos can still erupt. People can reject, misunderstand, or challenge you. Without acceptance, you crumble. But with it, you act decisively, knowing exactly what is within your control and what is not. And this, my friend, is where the final part of the Stoic puzzle comes into play. The element that transforms these 6 words from a simple sentence into a tool of profound influence. Stick with me, because the next section will show you how to harness disciplined acceptance to remain unshakable, even in the most volatile interactions, and how this skill, combined with presence and vulnerability, allows the 6 words to land like a masterstroke every single time. By the end, you won't just say the words, you'll live them, and in doing so, conquer any room, conversation, or challenge that comes your way. Now we arrive at the third invisible skill that makes those 6 words truly conquer any situation. Disciplined acceptance. This is the Stoic core, the unshakable foundation that allows presence and vulnerability to shine. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" Disciplined acceptance is the practice of distinguishing between what you can control and what you cannot, a principle Epictetus called the essence of freedom. In modern life, it looks like navigating conflict without being consumed by anger, handling criticism without defensiveness, or facing uncertainty without panic. Imagine a high-pressure negotiation where every element is volatile. Deadlines are tight, emotions are flaring, and the stakes feel unbearable. Most people react impulsively, allowing frustration or fear to dictate their words. But the Stoic knows that the only real power lies in their own mind and actions. By focusing solely on what they can control, their response, their composure, their clarity, they become untouchable. Here's where the magic begins. Those 6 words, which at first seem deceptively simple, are only effective when backed by this skill. They resonate because they are anchored in calm, confident authority that cannot be shaken by circumstance. Let's bring this to life with a story. A leader is facing intense scrutiny from their team after a failed project. Everyone expects panic, defensiveness, or blame. Instead, the leader remains composed, acknowledging reality without complaint, focusing on solutions rather than excuses. Then, with deliberate timing, they deliver the 6 words. Instantly, the room shifts. Skepticism transforms into attention, doubt becomes curiosity, and the energy of resistance melts into engagement. Why? Because disciplined acceptance creates credibility. People intuitively sense when someone is aligned with reality, unmoved by chaos, and acting from a place of purpose. And here's the final open loop that will keep you riveted. Disciplined acceptance is also the secret to long-term mastery. When you combine presence, calibrated vulnerability, and acceptance, the 6 words are no longer just a tool for persuasion. They become a reflection of your character, a signature of your inner authority. But like all Stoic practices, this mastery requires repetition. Daily reflection, deliberate challenges, and mindful observation of your emotional responses are essential. Start small. When someone cuts you off in traffic, notice your irritation and let it pass without reaction. When a colleague criticizes you unfairly, pause, breathe, and respond thoughtfully. Over time, these small exercises compound, cultivating a mind so steady that the 6 words land effortlessly in any scenario. By the end of this video, you will not only know the exact 6 words, but also understand the unseen forces that make them powerful. Your calm presence, your honest vulnerability, and your disciplined acceptance. And once you integrate these into your daily life, you will discover something remarkable. Influence, respect, and connection are no longer external prizes to chase. They emerge naturally from the person you have become. The moment you speak those 6 words, they carry weight because you carry weight within yourself. Stay tuned, because in the final section, we will reveal the exact 6 words, along with practical exercises to embed them deeply into your mind and interactions, ensuring they become a living, breathing tool of mastery in your life. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for, the 6 words that, when spoken with the mastery of presence, calibrated vulnerability, and disciplined acceptance, can profoundly influence any interaction are, I understand and I accept this. Simple, unassuming, yet as you now know, deceptively powerful. Spoken with calm authority, these words signal to others that you are grounded, empathetic, and unshakable. But remember, the words themselves are only the tip of the iceberg. The true power lies in the invisible mastery behind them. Let's break it down. I understand communicates presence and empathy. It shows that you are listening, that you recognize the other person's perspective without judgment or defensiveness. And I accept this embodies disciplined acceptance, a refusal to be swayed by external chaos, a commitment to acting with clarity and integrity. Together, these 6 words become more than language. They become a force that shapes perception, diffuses tension, and opens doors to collaboration, trust, and respect. Now, how do you integrate them into daily life? Here are 8 practical exercises. First, practice presence daily. Pause before responding, observe your emotions, and breathe with intention. Second, journal reflections each morning, imagining the challenges you may face and how you will remain composed. Third, engage in voluntary discomfort, a cold shower, fasting, or physical challenge to strengthen your resilience. Fourth, rehearse the 6 words in imagined conversations, visualizing the calm and authority behind them. Fifth, actively practice calibrated vulnerability. Share opinions honestly, but with respect and balance. Sixth, respond to minor conflicts in your daily life, using the 6 words to build fluency and authenticity. Seventh, meditate on Stoic texts. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. Internalizing lessons on self-master, emotional control, and resilience. Eighth, review interactions at the end of each day, noting moments of success and areas to improve, reinforcing the skill loop. When you consistently practice these exercises, you are no longer dependent on the words themselves. You embody their essence. The power comes from the alignment of mind, speech, and action. And here's the ultimate insight. Influence, respect, and connection are not things to chase externally. They emerge naturally from a person who has cultivated mastery within. These 6 words become a mirror of your inner strength, a reflection of your discipline, your emotional intelligence, and your unwavering presence. Picture the next conversation, negotiation, or challenge you face. Imagine speaking these words with calm authority, knowing that you are rooted in timeless Stoic principles. The effect is immediate. tension softens, trust forms, and people respond not just to what you say, but to who you are in that moment. That, my friend, is the Stoic superpower. The video doesn't end here. It begins. As you step into the world with these words and the mastery behind them, you are equipped to navigate any interaction, influence any outcome, and maintain your composure in the face of chaos. So, start today. Practice, reflect, and embody the presence, vulnerability, and acceptance that make these words live. Conquer not by force, but by wisdom, discipline, and the quiet power of understanding and acceptance. And remember, this mastery is lifelong, a journey of continual reflection, improvement, and intentional action. You are now armed with the 6 words and the 3 invisible skills. Use them wisely, and you will truly conquer anyone. Not through domination, but through the quiet, irresistible authority of a disciplined mind and an unwavering spirit.